So today we have a much more restorative style practice focusing on some breath work techniques that comes from some of the rolling strategies that I use. So we're going to use both position and some props to work on encouraging our breath. So take your rolled up blanket and if you and place it to the side. And we're going to begin on our backs. And if you have a block or a bolster, I recommend starting with your hips up on a block or bolster. If you don't have either a block or bolster, you can actually use your rolled up blanket for the prop under your hips. You just might have to re-roll it as we move on so that that it is still in a nice roll. So once you have all of your things gathered, a block and a rolled up blanket, or like I said, if you have the Coregeous ball, you could use the Coregeous ball. Come all the way onto your backs, bend your knees, and just settle into the floor. And as you arrive on your back, we're gonna go immediately to a gentle inversion position. So it's gonna be a supported bridge, and I'm gonna stay on the lowest setting of my block. So I'm gonna take my block under my hips, and again, a bolster is perfect here too, if you prefer to use a bolster because it's softer, or you can even always use your rolled up blanket. And once you arrive on your back, just feel your feet on the earth. Feel the grounding of your feet. Feel the stability of the pelvis supported on whatever prop you're using so that the hips are higher than the heart. And then just tuck the chin very gently to elongate the back of the neck. Allow the eyes to close. Allow the palms to turn upward. So even rotate the shoulders back so the palms turn open from the shoulder blades. And then just observe how you're arriving in your breath. Without forcing or changing in any way right now, just feel the breath come in and out of your body. Notice where you feel the initiation of the breath, of the inhale. Feeling each inhale come into your body as a felt sense. And then change your focus to the exhale, just noting the quality of the exhale. Where do you feel the exhale in the body? What's the quality of the exhale? Without changing, just sensing the feeling of the breath. And then begin to move between inhale and exhale, sensing the full cycle of the breath. Noticing the quality of each. Noticing where it resonates in the body. And noting how it's even changed since you began without you even trying, just by bringing awareness to it. And now we'll start to explore the breath a little bit more deeply. So take one hand, or maybe even both hands, and rest them gently on your abdomen, feeling your belly. And as you breathe, start to send the breath to the belly. So as you inhale, the breath rises up now into the belly and to the pelvis. And then as you exhale, that breath just flows back down. Follow the breath in and out of the belly over the next several repetitions. Shifting your awareness, your center right into that pelvis and belly space. Feeling the breath fill the pelvis and the belly around the whole circumference of the abdomen, filling out to the back, to the sides, and then the front. Giving your internal organs a gentle massage. Just by doing this, we're shifting from a doing or a fight or flight or sympathetic state into this place of being, or this place of resting and abiding, which is where digestion, restoration, recovery all occur. So we're using the breath as well as position to help create that shifting. Breath massaging the belly, allowing for that digestive or processing state of the body to begin. We don't just digest food, but we also digest thoughts, emotions, feelings, sensations. So by approaching our body in this state, we can process better what's going on in our whole system. And so this belly breath is the first house or abode of the breath. Take one more full breath into that space. And maybe you can sigh that breath out. And now slide the hands upward. Bring the hands to the sides of the ribs. The elbows can rest on the floor. The arms come away from the body a little bit. And now send the breath into the ribs, feeling a lateral motion like an accordion. As the breath moves from the belly, now deepening it up to the ribs. Feeling your breath expand outward, mobilizing the rib cage. Sensing mobility now in the breathing muscle, the diaphragm as it sits right under your hands in the lower rib cage. We need the diaphragm to breathe. The diaphragm must work in order for us to be alive. So sensing the vitality of your breath now as you breathe into the side ribs. Again, just sensing the breath, not yet trying to change or manipulate, but feeling how just the sensing begins to alter the depth and the pace of your breath. And then now slide the hands up one more time, now to the chest, right beneath the collarbones. You can use both hands or one hand on your chest, bridging your hands, bringing your thumb to one clavicle, one collarbone, and your fingers to the other, feeling the upper chest breathing now. Feeling how the hand lifts up towards the sky like a pump. As you breathe into this upper chest region. Feeling how your chest bone rises and then falls. Taking one more breath, noting that sternal action with the breath. And then letting your hands come back towards your sides. So we begin with just observing the breath and the different houses of the breath. And then we start to move towards breath control or breath restraint, which is literally the interpretation of pranayama. So prana meaning breath or life force, and yama meaning restraint or restriction. And we practice these breath techniques or breath restrictions in order to give us fullness of breath or breath for unrestricted breathing. So now we'll start to move into some more breath practices. So we'll start with just the basic 3-part breathing, accentuating each of those houses or abodes of breath. So as you inhale, breathe in first to the belly, filling the belly, then the ribs, then the sternum, and up to the collarbones. And then as you exhale, empty in the reverse, collarbones, ribs, and then belly. Pausing just at the end, just a tiny bit of retention, feeling the emptiness, and then allowing the next breath to fill you, filling into the belly, ribs, and chest, pausing and feeling the fullness. And then exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. Pausing in the emptiness. Filling belly, ribs, and chest. Pausing, exhaling, chest, ribs, and belly. One more time, just like that, feeling the sequential nature, the three-part breath. And then exhaling. Great. Now letting go of the parts and just resting in the counting. So breathing in now for 6. Trying to hold the breath at the top for 4. Exhaling for 6. Holding the emptiness for 4. Again, inhaling for 6. Holding at the top. Exhaling for 6. Holding at the bottom. Inhaling for 6. Pausing at the top. Now try extending the exhalation for a couple more counts to whatever is comfortable. Gently contracting the abdominals at the end of the breath and holding the exhalation. Gently holding the emptiness until you feel the impulse to breathe in again without straining or forcing. Let the breath just fill you now. Feel the inhale, hold it. And then exhale, elongating the exhalation without straining or forcing. Let that breath flow out of you. Gently contract the belly at the end to push out any stagnant air. Pause in that exhale, comfortably holding that exhalation. And when you feel the need to breathe in slowly and controlled without slurping. Just feel the breath kind of flow in and create an expansion. Feel the fullness. Hold the fullness before you exhale. And let the air out. Elongating the exhale, calming the nervous system. By elongating the exhale, it's super beneficial for our heart health as well and our nervous system health. It helps us have better heart rate variability, better vagus nerve control, all indicators of our overall health. So try this 2 more rounds on your own, and then we'll progress on to the next thing. So breathing in for about 6, feeling the breath swell in your body, filling the whole trunk. Pausing. Elongating the exhale. Engaging the belly slightly at the ends. Holding in the emptiness. And then breathing in when your body asks, complete 1 more round. And then when you need to inhale, returning to a normal breath. So we're going to use this platform to actually do a little toning of both our abdominals and our diaphragm now. We're going to do a vacuum, a diaphragm vacuum, which will help us to reset the diaphragm. And this can be really challenging at first, but it's basically a continuation of what we just did. We're just going to add a little bit more force now and really change the pressures in our breathing system. And this is really cleansing to the body, helps really evacuate everything from the ribs. It helps change the pressures to help with digestion. And it's going to be like this. It's going to be same system that we just did. You're going to breathe in deeply. But then at the top of the inhale, when you hold your inhale, contract your abdominals. Feel the pressure build. And then as you exhale, forcefully exhale now through the mouth. Contract your abdominals even more. Then you're going to hold the exhale out, but you're going to let go of the abdominals. And it's hard for me to talk, but you'll get this suctioning action then, so that you're holding the exhale, but when you relax the belly, the diaphragm moves back up towards the head. So it's bringing the diaphragm back to the relaxed or shortened position, which resets the length of the diaphragm, so then it can move better. And we have our hips elevated doing this because it's letting gravity help that action. This is an easier place to do it. If our hips are on the ground, it becomes a little harder. So let's do that together. I'll cue you, and then you can explore and play with that. It's going to feel like a suctioning up of the diaphragm up towards the throat. There may even be a little sense of constriction in the throat when you do this. So just do it to your comfort. So same thing that we were doing, but we'll add some forceful inhalation and exhalation now. So some activation, a little bit more sympathetic in nature. So breathe in. Hold the inhale, but engage the abdominals. Feel the pressure build. Exhale forcefully through the mouth, engage the abs more. Holding the exhalation and feeling the abdominals relax as long as you can, feeling the diaphragm just spring up up towards the throat. And then when you need to breathe, take a full resting breath. If you're feeling a little lost, you can watch me what happens to the body. It's hard to talk while doing it. We'll do this about 3 more times together, and then we'll start to move into some more movement patterns with breath. So again, you can go on your own pace or follow my lead. Deep breath in. Hold the inhale. Contract the abs. Exhale forcefully. And when you need, breathing in fully. Let's do that one more time. And when you're complete, just coming back to normal resting breath. You might feel like that heated you up a little bit. It's a great cleansing practice for the digestive system and the respiratory system, which are the two main systems of elimination in our body. And by doing this, we're going to increase our immunity, increase our overall health by eliminating what we no longer need and creating space within the body. So as you're ready, take the block out or the bolster out from under you, and then let your pelvis come back to the earth, and you'll really feel your spine resting on the floor now. There might be a little back soreness to begin, so maybe rock your knees side to side and just let that subside. And as you take just a couple bridging gaps here, feel how the breath flows in and fills along the spine. So as you breathe in, see if you can fill the breath into where the body and the floor meet. And now take the hands to behind your head. Hands interlace behind the head. And now elbows press into the floor. Tailbone presses into the floor. Arch the back as you inhale. Maybe even gaze goes up towards the top of your eyes. Feel an extension action on this inhalation. And then as you exhale, curl the tailbone, curl the elbows together like your elbows are going to touch, and then start to lift and curl the head and upper back. It's going to look like a crunch, but don't think about trying to do a crunch so much as you're just trying to bend through the spine. Inhale comes, arch back, stick the tailbone out, stick the elbows into the floor, breathe in. And then exhale, elbows come together, tailbone tucks from both ends of the spine. Feel the rounding on the exhale. Inhale and arch. Feel each segment of the spine moving. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone and round. Inhale and arch. Exhale and round. Couple more. Press the elbows back into the floor. Look up through the tops of the eyes and press down through the tailbone on the inhale. And then really curl from the sacrum, from the elbows, chin to chest as you round. Just maybe feeling yourself going up one more segment each time. Last round. And then releasing. Letting the arms relax, even letting the legs relax straight now. Feeling the sense of vitality, maybe a tingling nature in the body after integrating breath and movements. Feeling this motion around the body. This sense of prana or chi or life force that our breath brings into us. And then now bring bring both arms up overhead, staying straight on your back. And now reach both arms just up overhead for a moment. And now we're going to come into more of the side body breathing. So we just did a little flexion extension with the breath. Now integrate side bending with the breath. So reach the left arm and the left hand in opposite directions as you breathe in, stretching out the left side of the body, and then come back to center. And then now do that on the right. Stretch out through the right side of the body, and come back to center. Left side, heel reaches, fingertips reach as you inhale. Come back to center, just climbing out or walking out of your side waist, reaching side to side, moving at your own pace, letting your breath be your guide. Reaching long on the left as you inhale. And then switching and reaching long on the right. Again, long on the left. And long on the right. Really subtle movements, just like somebody's pulling your wrist and pulling your ankle a little bit. Last time on each side. Feeling how the breath is what initiates the motion. And then release. Arms can come down by your side. Now rolling to your side just for a moment to grab your rolled up blanket. This rolled up blanket is gonna go under the lower rib cage. So it's gonna go just under the bra strap area in the bottom portion of your ribs, and play with how big it is. So if you feel like your head can't touch the ground, and if you feel like you're really uncomfortable and efforting, unroll it slightly, like Dolores. That might be just a little big for you. Because, like, look, mine's probably about maybe a softball size at most. But so play with it, and also depends upon how fluffy your blanket is. And now I'm going to let it come underneath the lower portion of my rib cage. And now hug your left knee. Let's do left knee into your chest first. I'm doing left side because here we're compressing the descending colon, which will help with elimination too. So in this practice of breathing, we're really working with elimination and immunity. So another thing to note is that 70% of our immune cells that are located in our gut. So by shifting into this parasympathetic state, increasing blood flow to the gut, increasing the change in our chemical composition by breath, we're really increasing our immunity, increasing our digestion, and also increasing, like I said, heart rate variability, vagus nerve innervation, which are all indicators of health. So as you hug your left knee, maybe you let the right knee begin to straighten out. Letting the right side of the body lengthen. And if that doesn't feel right, maybe adjust the blanket position or size. And you'll feel and reach through the right heel so you feel a little lengthening through the right hip flexor. But then keep your awareness focused on where the blanket and the body meet. And as you inhale, feel the belly expand into the left knee. And then as you exhale, feel the knee pull in a little closer to the belly, compressing the belly, assisting, facilitating the digestion, as well as facilitating that lengthening through this lower thoracic spine. The blanket is in the rib cage. Breathing deeply. Maybe coming back to counting your breath or elongating the exhale. Think about which felt better in your body. Breathing right into the back body where the blanket and the ribs meet. Working on expanding the breath in all directions. And then from this position, take your left knee to the right hand. So first we're going to rotate all the way over to the right side. So use the right hand to pull yourself over to the right side. So you still should be lying on your blanket with the blanket under the side ribs on the right. If they're not, reposition so that you feel the ribs pressing into the blanket to begin, and then let the left knee drop onto the floor. And take your left hand, I have mine on the outside of my left ribs. And I'm trying to breathe into the blanket and breathe into my left hand, really filling the ribs like an accordion now in that side to side direction. So as you breathe in, feel the ribs expand. And then as you exhale, maybe even use your top hand to compress the ribs together. See what happens if you pull a little abdominals in to pull the ribs together. And then inhale, feel the accordion expansion. Exhale, maybe through the mouth, that or maybe this time a shh. You might feel more in the lower ribs here as to pull the abdominals together with a sh sound. Take 3 more rounds of breath just like that. Actually, make it audible. And then take your left hand, let go of the ribs. I want you to circle with the left arm up, back, and around like a big windmill. I want you to do this 2 or 3 times on your side here. And then on the last rounds, take that windmill of the arm to pull you back onto your back. And we'll reset for the other side. Maybe you have to fix your roll a little bit if it got a little out of sorts. And so again, you're right in that bra strap to lower rib cage area. And then now hug the right knee into your chest. And then as you're ready, straighten out the left leg, reaching through your heel. So the left leg's a little active so that you're lengthening through the hip flexor, because the hip flexor actually attaches into the diaphragm, into the bottom crura, we call it, of the diaphragm. So here now, breathe deeply into the belly, feeling the belly press into the right thigh. And then as you exhale, the knee pulls in just a little bit. Feeling the gentle internal abdominal massage, using the breath to facilitate some digestion. And feeling the breath expand. (360°). So the breath expands into where the body and the blanket meet. Expanding into the back of the ribs. Either counting the length of your breath, or maybe you decide to extend that exhalation. Taking 3 more breaths wherever you are, whatever feels right for you. Allowing the breath to be audible. And then take your right knee into your left hand and roll all the way onto your side, staying on your blanket. So the blanket is underneath the ribs, just below breast height on the left. Right knee comes towards the floor. Now take the right hand to the right ribs and feel the breath in the lower ribs. Feel the accordion expansion into the blanket and into your hand. And then as you exhale, making a shh sound, feeling those lower ribs come together. A little abdominal activation to help with that elimination. And then let the breath flow and expand like an accordion. And then shh. pushing out, coming towards center. The vocalization of the breath stimulating the vagus nerve, increasing vagal tone, which decreases the sympathetic activity, shifting us into a parasympathetic state of the nervous system. One more round. And then making a big circle with the arm 3 or 4 times, integrating that side bending, that lengthening reach that we did before, and a little of rotation into the body, and then letting that rotational motion pull you back onto your back on the next round. And we'll reposition the blankets now for our last position. Now take the blanket and it's gonna go now in the shoulder blade area. So now the sternum is gonna be propped up by the blanket. And here, let the arms come out like a T. So the armpits are just above the blanket with the arms in a capital T, and you should feel your chest radiating forward. And then the legs can come long, stay bent, or I really love this supine cobbler's position here, Supta Baddha Konasana here. And then just gently elongate the back of the neck, tucking the chin slightly. And now breathe into the sternum, into the collarbones, right into the heart. Take a few breaths, and now this time with each exhale, you're going to do a ha or a sighing sound. Inhaling through the nose and exhale, ha. Elongating that exhale, making an audible sound, a nice sigh. Dropping the jaw. Breathing into the heart space. Couple more audible exhales. Last long audible ha or sigh. And then resting your awareness gently on that heart space. Feeling a vibrancy, an aliveness, a radiance in the heart. And from that felt sense of aliveness, maybe beginning to sense emotions of joy, of well-being, of health and happiness. Radiate from the heart into the whole torso, down into the legs and the feet, from the heart to the hands, and then up into the head, into the face, so that you start to feel a gentle smile come across the eyes, the cheeks, and the mouth. Feeling how the breath brings with it a sense of aliveness, vibrancy, and joy, allowing you to tap into your natural well-being that's always there. Rest in the sense of well-being as long as you'd like. And as you're ready, start to feel the breath come back into your belly, belly feeling warm and pliable. And feel the breath radiate into the fingers and the toes, awakening sense of movement and aliveness in the limbs. And then slowly reconnect to gravity by turning on your side and feeling your weight and your shape. Noticing how breath changes under the force of gravity. And then press down into the earth, feeling that support and your platform to rise and come to sit. And take one more full breath in, sighing it out. And then a couple natural breaths, being grateful for our breath and the life that it brings us, and our health, our immunity, our ability to let go of what we no longer need. And how it sustains us throughout our lives. Thank you for sharing your breath, your body, and this practice with me. It was a pleasure. Namaste.